outside is Jacob. Oh, we've got one upside down. We've got one upside down. He's gone, but it won't be good enough. And Brock Atkins is the Australian champion by 2 car lengths.
Ash Media's coverage of the Australian Junior Sedan title proudly brought to you by Speedway Sedans Australia.
Number 20 from Victoria, driving car number 16, Angus Hollis. From position number 19, driving car number 76, Jackson Lunt. From position number 18, after finishing second in the B main, Victoria 8, Caleb Lincoln. Starting from position number 17 after winning that thrilling B main, put your hands together for South Australia 5, Cooper Gregg, in his 6th Australian title, and he can still do another one. Now, plenty of noise from position number 16, driving Tasmania number 12, Alice Dickinson. From position number 15 from Western Australia, Jake Evans. From position number 14 from Western Australia, driving car number 93, Shannon Marsden. From position number 13 from Queensland in car number 32, Maddie McGee. From position number 12 from Victoria, driving car number 15, Ricky Cornwall. From position number 11, the Australian champion, the defending champion from Victoria, Brock Atkins. From position number 10, from Queensland, driving car number 52, Daniel Johnson. From position number 9, from Victoria, in car number 18, Harry Ross. From position number 8 in the 17 car from Victoria, Todd Atkins. From Kalgoorlie in Western Australia, in position 7, car 82, Jacob Potts. From position number 6, 3rd row outside, also from Western Australia, in car 6, Travis Armstrong. From position number 5, 3rd row inside, in car 118 from Western Australia, Brooklyn Van Zetti. From position number 4, the outside of the 2nd row, from Tasmania, in car number 7, Jacob Jetson. From position number 3, in Queensland 51, Artie Jonick. And our front row, he was last year's pole car. This year he's on the outside. He finished 3rd last year. Will he win this year? From position 2, Queensland 36, Matty Smith. And for the second time in his career in junior sedans, it's his last final. He was on pole 2 years ago. He's on pole again tonight. Queensland number 9, Brendan Leroyd. And striding you downstairs, we might be able to get a quick word with
him as they drive around the Cranes Combined Carrick Speedway, folks. They are only kids. They have put up a great show all weekend, and show them some support with your lights, your phones, your glow sticks, whatever you got before they go racing, and they can see it, they'll appreciate it, and it'll just fire them up to put on an even better show.
Here we go. The main event of the 2015-16 Australian Junior Sedan title for Pepsi Max is not far away. Plenty of noise as we get ready for 25 big laps, and oh, look at the colour around the track. It looks brilliant. Let's get this one underway. In these is not normally more than 0.2. 25 laps the journey. The glow sticks, the lights are all flashing. 20 of Australia's best cars have made it to the Australian final over 25 laps. Brendan Leroyd and Matty Smith will lead them into the main straight. We're racing. And a great start on the outside for Matty Smith. They're 4 wide down the main straight, and Brooklyn Vanzetti got a great start on the outside as Jacob Jetson. They're 3 and 4 wide out of turn 2, and 2 of the West Australians nearly put themselves undone. Travis Armstrong and also Jacob Potts out of turn 4, the first of 25 circulations. It's Matty Smith in front, Brendan Leroyd in second place. On the outside in third is Artie Jonick. On the inside is Brooklyn Vanzetti. Jacob Jetson is fifth. The yellow lights have come on, and Jacob Potts from Western Australia has stopped here in the main straight. And we've done 1 lap apart from him. What a hectic start. Hectic start, the yellow lights are on. Matty Smith got the better of their start. Brendan Leroyd went back to second. The first lap was an 18.6. Just for the record, there's 8 charades out there and neither 12 Datsuns or Corollas. Restart coming up. Yellow lights have been extinguished. 24 laps to go. Pace starts to quicken. The green lights are activated. We're back underway. And Matty Smith in his last Australian final, as is Brendan Leroyd in second place. Lead them down into turn number 1. Brooklyn Vanzetti comes underneath of Artie Jonick, and Vanzetti makes the first move. Here comes the next move. It's coming from Todd Atkins from Victoria. They're running 3 wide. Jacob Jetson's gone high, wide and handsome, but got plenty of drive out there as well. Holds on to that position. Atkins and Armstrong side by side. Back then to the next car through was Harry Ross, as they still 2 and 3 wide further back. Brock Atkins had to button off as Harry Ross got sideways, and Brock Atkins, the Australian champion's gone back a couple of spots as they move into the main straight. Here comes Leroyd, goes underneath of Matty Smith, who fights on the outside. Right behind them is the West Australian Brooklyn Vanzetti and Artie Jonick. They've skipped away from Jacob Jetson, under 3 wide down the back straight for 5th place, as it's Travis Armstrong on the inside of Jetson, and in the middle was Todd Atkins. Atkins goes back to 6th, Jetson to 7th, Cornwall back to 8th. There's plenty of action on the race. 3rd and 4th is still up for dispute. It's Vanzetti and Artie Jonick side by side. That's for 3rd. 5th and 6th is still side by side. That's Atkins and Armstrong. Side by side for the lead between Smith and Leroyd. The margin is .147, and I guarantee in 20 laps the way it's going, it'll still be .147. Here comes Leroyd, goes to the inside. We've got a car spun. There's a car spun up in turn 4, and the yellow lights have come on, and it's Brock Atkins, the Australian champion, has spun up there in turn 4, or was pushed, I'm not sure, didn't see it, but he was stranded up there for sure, and we've got a stoppage. What great racing. 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th running side by side. The 32 of Matty McKee coming in Inquiry Bay. And I suggest Brock Atkins, the Australian champion, has called it a day.
Certainly.
Is possible. There may have been a penalty applied. Now we've got trouble further back with cars stopped at the back. They get themselves going. We should still be able to go. So there may have been a penalty applied. I don't have communication with the stewards, but Jetson is 2 positions back. The green lights are coming on. They're away. The national final has 21 to go. Smith, Leroy and Vanzetti get away. Right behind them is Artie Jonick and then Travis Armstrong. Atkins in 6th place. It's a fly down the back straight. Harry Ross makes a move on Jacob Jetson as they come out of Pitts Bend and into the main straight with 20 to go. And it's a ding-dong battle out in front. There's 0.4 of a second separating the top 3. Leroy just does the quick lap of the race. Leroy now moving onto the inside of Matty Smith. Todd Atkins goes underneath of Travis Armstrong. There's nothing separating these charades into the main straight. Smith, then the only non-charade in the front 6, is under immense pressure from the 9 car of Brendan Leroy. Back in 3rd place, Brooklyn Vanzetti. As again Leroy ducks to the inside. Smith on the outside, half track high. Smith still in front. Artie Jonick and Vanzetti have it coming together. Jonick into 3rd. Every which way but loose further back. It's Smith from Leroy. A gap back to Jonick and Vanzetti. 1 car's up against the fence. That's Maddie McGee. She's going back through the field. Jonick, Vanzetti, then Atkins and Armstrong. Behind them, it would be Cornwall, McGee. McGee's going back, then Ross, Brock Atkins, Jacob Jetson, Jake Havens. It's still anybody's race. There's still door handle to door handle as Matty McGee retires with a flat tyre. On the inside, it's Brendan Leroy. On the outside is Matty Smith. Leroy back in front. 16 laps to go. Artie Jonick 3rd. Todd Atkins, a 13-year-old driving the race of his life, is up to 4th. Brooklyn Vanzetti to try and fight back his 5th. Then Travis Armstrong. Out of Pitts Bend they come again. Still side by side, Leroy and Matty Smith. The margin's .201. Artie Jonick is 0.9 of a second behind, but closing. Back then to Atkins and Brooklyn Vanzetti. Armstrong is 6th. Cornwall, Ross, Jake Havens, Brock Atkins, then Cooper Gregg. Into the main straight, Brendan Leroy looking to do better than he did 2 years ago when he led until 4 laps to go. 18.259 for Leroy. Gets out by 3 car lengths now. As the 93 car gets crossed up here in the main straight. That's Shannon Marsden. Into the main straight, another lap put together. 12 down as the yellow lights come on. It'll be 11 down. We've got a car spun. And it's the 17 car of Todd Atkins. Sorry, it's not the 17 car. It, I think, is the 11 car of Jake Havens. We're about to go once again. Brendan Leroy to lead them into the main straight. Matty Smith in 2nd place. Artie Jonick 3rd. Then back to Todd Atkins as the greens are activated. And the first to make a move is Matty Smith. He's gone wide. That's allowed a couple of car lengths to separate here in the leader, which is Brendan Leroy. So here comes Artie Jonick. Jonick, a bit of a hip and shoulder there. Jonick goes into 2nd place. Underneath of Matty Smith now also goes Todd Atkins. Atkins to 3rd. Smith's gone back to 4th. So Artie Jonick is out after a race leader. So Smith has gone from 1st to 4th in a few laps. Brooklyn Vanzetti also in the lead group. Down the main straight with 13 down and 12 to go. A new quick lap of the race, 18.257. The margin is 0.8 of a second back to Artie Jonick. The Australian champion is starting to make his move. He's now up to 8th place as he goes underneath of Harry Ross. Out of Pitts Bend they come again. 14 down, 11 to go. Oh, trouble between 6 and 118. The 2 West Australians, Travis Armstrong, Brooklyn Vanzetti's car has stopped in the front straight. He's got going now, and we've got another stoppage. It's getting a bit dramatic in the concluding stages. There'll be a dozen laps remaining. Brendan Leroy on lap 13 did an 18.257, the quick lap of the race. And Vanzetti's been sent to the rear of the field. I didn't see the initial part of that, but Vanzetti to the rear. And that leaves Travis Armstrong in 5th place. So it's Brendan Leroy from Queensland, young Todd Atkins, the younger brother of the Australian champion, is in 2nd place. Matty Smith is 3rd from Queensland. 4th place is Queensland's Artie Jonick. 5th place from Western Australia is the 6th of Travis Armstrong. Ricky Cornwall from Victoria is 6th. Harry Ross from Victoria is 7th. Brock Atkins from Victoria is 8th, the Australian champion. So he's still some sort of a silly chance, Brock Atkins. If there's enough stoppages, he could still get there. He's going as quick as anybody else. A dozen laps left. They're all stacked up behind Brendan Leroy. Good start for Leroy. Todd Atkins in 2nd place. Matty Smith in 3rd. 4th place Artie Jonick, then Armstrong in 5th. Cornwall, Ross, Brock Atkins. Behind Brock Atkins is Cooper Gregg, then Angus Hollis. A couple of car lengths separating the lead 2 cars at the moment. Leroy starting to open up a bit of a gap down into turn 1. Todd Atkins, Matty Smith, Artie Jonick looking for a way through. Back then to Travis Armstrong and Harry Ross. The Australian champion gets up to 7th place now. That's Brock Atkins. The only problem is he's starting to run out of laps. There's 10 to go. Down the main straight, Atkins gets a great run. That's the Australian champion under Harry Ross. Goes into 6th place as they move out of turn 2. He might pick up another one here. They're 3 wide, Harry Ross and also Travis Armstrong. Armstrong's gone in very heavy and the Australian champion's up to 5th place. What a drive by Brock Atkins. He's up to 5th, Armstrong back to 6th. Cooper Gregg is 7th. Meanwhile, there's not 8.5 laps left to go and Brendan Leroy is out in front. Todd Atkins in 2nd place. In 3rd place it's still Matty Smith and then Artie Jonick. The inquiry flag is coming out to add a little bit more spice to the race and it's going to, I think it's either Cooper Gregg. I think Cooper Gregg's just got the inquiry flag. That's with Travis Armstrong. The battle for 3rd and 4th is starting to intensify. The 2 Queenslanders, Artie Jonick in 4th, Matty Smith in 3rd. 3 wide for 6th, 7th and 8th. Armstrong, Ross and Cooper Gregg down the main straight together. Brendan Leroy has the race won with 7 to go. This is one of the biggest margins in junior sedan titles. He's out by 1.5 seconds. Out in front it's Brendan Leroy with 6 to go. 2nd place is still that of young Todd Atkins. Matty Smith, Artie Jonick, then the Australian champion is next. Then it's Harry Ross, Cooper Gregg, Travis Armstrong is 8th, then Ricky Cornwall. Jackson Lunt is the next car. 5 laps to go in the Australian final. It's Brendan Leroy still out in front. 1.8 seconds the margin. There's a heavy traffic jam for 6th place onwards. The first 5 are well clear. Cooper Gregg looks like he may have run out of noise or run wide. He's lost a lot of ground. It's Brendan Leroy's Australian title with 4 to go. I don't think they'll catch him. Brock Atkins is giving great pursuit on 3rd and 4th. Matty Smith is 3rd. Artie Jonick still all over the back end of Matty Smith. 5th place Brock Atkins, then back to Harry Ross. Into the main straight, count them down. 3 laps to go for Brendan Leroy. Todd Atkins is driving a brilliant race. The youngster from Hamilton in Victoria. Artie Jonick still hounding the back end of Matty Smith. And Brock Atkins wringing the neck out of the 1 car, trying to get on terms with them. The laps are ticking by, there's 2 to go. 2 to go in the Australian final and Brendan Leroy's out by 2.2 seconds. This is a big margin in junior racing. 2nd is Todd Atkins, here's a go. Here's a go now by Artie Jonick underneath the Matty Smith and Brock Atkins is coming into it. That's for the minor placings. Matty Smith's gone back to 5th. Brock Atkins, the Australian champion, storming home. He's in the 4th, challenging for 3rd. But there's no doubt about it. Come on, race fans, up on your feet. We've got a new Australian champion. In his last year of junior racing, it's Brendan Leroy from Queensland. He's first home. 2nd is Todd Atkins. A blanket go. Jonick and Atkins and Matty Smith across the line together. What a finish. What a finish for... Oh, we've got a dead heat. We've got a dead heat for 4th. Artie Jonick is 3rd. It's a dead heat for 4th. Matty Smith and Brock Atkins have dead heated for 4th place in the Australian final. Their cars have gone every which way at the end. Brendan Leroyd is the Australian champion. Todd Atkins second. Artie Johnning has got third by 0.126 of a second over Matty Smith and Brock Atkins, who have tied for 4th. Harry Ross, Travis Armstrong, Ricky Cornwall, Jake Evans, Caleb Lincoln. Then Daniel Johnson, Jacob Potts, Angus Hollis, 14th was Jacob Jetson, Brooklyn Vanzetti, Alice Dickinson, Shannon Marsden, Jackson Lunt, Cooper Gregg, and Manny McGee is the only car that retired. Put your hands together for him, the new Australian champion, Brendan Leroyd. But the sensation is we have a dead heat for 4th.
Sensational action. Stridey, you're down there on the infield. How did you see that one?
Oh, look, it was fantastic down here. Come on, Carrick, get up on your feet and give these kids a big round, because that was a fantastic final. A dead heat for 4th. Can you believe that? Very shortly, I'm sure that Jason Crow will join me down on the infield for the presentations to those on the podium. And I'd just like to congratulate every single kid that came here this weekend, their families, their crews.
Stridey, you call them kids, but these are very mature drivers, very skillful drivers. They're anything but kids.
Yeah, most of them can't drive on the road.
No, but they'll drive the wheels off these machines on the track. They're anything but kids. These are the stars in cars and the future of our sport. There's no doubt about that. Tremendous racing right through the pack. Didn't know which way to look at time.
Don't know yet. It's a dead heat for 4th. Yep, you and Matty Smith. Here we are. So we're not quite sure how we're going to do the sash at this stage, because we've got one for 5th and one for 4th. There we go. They've got it sussed. They've both put the sash on together. You might as well give them both the other one as well. They've just learnt for the first time that you've dead heated for 4th place in a blanket finish. How do you feel after all of that?
Yeah, well, we seem to be pretty close to every title for some reason.
And Brock, you come right through the field to dead heat.
Yeah, I just had a look at the right rear. I probably should have went harder earlier, but yeah, I'm stoked. And 12-year-old brother, a second in an Australian title. I'm stoked for him. He's a legend. I'm just so happy.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We might just get them both to thank a few people first. Matty, first of all, to you.
Yeah, just firstly, I'd like to thank Carrick Speedway for the awesome event they put on, and all my friends and family that supported me through the juniors, and all my sponsors, A1 Bodyworks, Hair Performance, Bruce Harvey Water, and yeah, that's about it.
Well done. Stay here for a moment. Brock, and you?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mum and Dad for getting me over here. Obviously, it costs a lot of money, and they've put a lot of time and effort into the car and, our racing. All my sponsors, Smooth Suspension, endless phone calls and, sussing out of the car, and, we couldn't do it without him. Iron J Speedway Equipment, Hamilton Exhaust Centre, VG Build, Repco of Hamilton, Boropez of Hamilton, Iron J Speedway Equipment, he does so much for us. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be over here, So, yeah, thanks to everyone. Thanks for everyone coming out and watching, and, yeah, congratulations to everyone else.
And just before we let you go, there's another trophy you are going to win. You have won the Hard Charger Award for passing the most cars in the final. So, congratulations to Brock Atkins, starting mid-pack. And that is courtesy of Devil Race Parts. So well done to Brock Atkins. And Matty Smith, a dead heat for 4th. There's more history. It's never happened before. In 3rd place, we can put a sash on this young fella from Queensland, driving car number 51. In 3rd place, Artie Johnnick. Now, Artie got 3rd place by 0.1 of a second. Thank God we've got transponders. Come over, Artie. Now, Artie, the trophy's probably as big as you are. Come over here, mate. You're right?
Yeah.
What a race that was, and what a finish.
Yeah, it was a real great race. I think my tyre pressures were a little bit too low, but that's okay.
A great race, though. You battled for the lead, and then, you had two cars 0.1 of a second behind you at the finish.
Yeah, it was scary there at the end. I thought they were going to get me, but I held on, yeah.
And a few people you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my granddad, everybody who comes out to help, and my dad for finally coming to one of my races.
Well done. Best of luck. You've got a few more years in juniors still to come.
Yep.
There we are in 3rd place, Artie Johnnick. In second place, as we've just heard, and what a career he's got in front of him in his first national final at the age of 12. He is the runner-up, Todd Atkins. I'll come over this side for you. What a race that was.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Ever thought you were going to finish second?
No way. Started from 8th position with Brock in 11th and, yeah, moved forward.
Did he give you any advice before the final?
Told me not to beat him.
Not to beat him. Well, you have, and now you're Australia number 2. But you got a few years in juniors left. This was only your first national title.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'd like to thank Dad for building me a new car for this season. All my sponsors, Orange Speedway Equipment, VG Build, Smooth Suspension, Mum, Dad, Brock, Atkins Autoworks, Hamilton, and just the rest of our sponsors if I forgot.
Very quietly spoken, but he's our runner-up. Put your hands together for Todd Atkins. And finally, 2 years ago, he started on pole and didn't quite get there. A bit of redemption tonight in his last year in junior sedans. He's the new Australian champion from Queensland, Brendan Leroyd. And it's the only junior we've got that's actually taller than the trophy, but only just. Turn around this way. Now let's go through the race. You started on pole, but you didn't get the best of starts, and you had to chase Matty for a few laps. What was going through your mind?
Just stay behind him and stay close.
And then you got past him on the outside, and then had to survive some restarts.
Yeah, it's a bit scary, but I mean, the track was good, car was good, and it just went my way.
And it'd be a dream come true to win the national title. Did you think you could do it after starting on pole 2 years ago and last year didn't go your way?
Oh, look, I think it just comes down to when you're actually on the track. Like, that time was just all the adrenaline's pumping, and I start, and then I lose a few positions straight up, so then, you lose a bit of confidence. But then when you're in the front and you're keeping up with other people, it just feels great.
So we've broken 2 records tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a tie for 4th, a dead heat. We've never had that before. And the first time in national history that 2 brothers have won the national title, because 2 years ago you started on pole and your brother won, Michael, and now 2 years later you've won it. So plenty of history tonight.
No more bragging rights for him.
Of course not. Now, a few people you'd like to thank.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank my parents and my brother and Andy and just Ashley, everyone who's there to actually help me and work on the car and sort it out. I can't do it without them. I'd like to thank Performax International, Gympie Auto Wreckers and Power Plus Race Engines.
Now, what does the future hold for you? This is your last year in juniors.
A sprint car.
Okay, I should not have asked that question, Dad. You've got a couple of months to change his mind. Dad's just having a coronary. We might need the ambulance. Ladies and gentlemen, how about putting your hands together for our new national champion, Brendan Leroyd? We'll get all the drivers together for a photo. It's been a great weekend. There's still an event to come, the Super Sedan event. The Jeff Stagg Memorial will bring Stridey back.